Good evening and welcome to Hope at Home. It's the 6th episode in a row coming to you live from Berlin in Germany, directly from my living room. I'm Daniel Hope, this is Christoph Israel, and we have put together a beautiful program of music for tonight. We began with Antonin Dvorak, and you might ask yourself how we arrive at some of these pieces. Well, this morning I received a message on social media from a woman saying, please, will you play some Czech music? And I thought, what about Dvorak? And I rang up Christoph and sent in the music, and that's why we played this piece. But we also played it because it is truly magnificent music. Antonin Dvorak wrote this piece in the 1890s. In fact, in New York City, he was in America for a few years, where he helped found the conservatory in New York, and also it was his idea to help support new American music, and by going around America he picked up so many influences, and this particular piece is an example of this. He dedicated it to his children. He said it's for children but also for adults to enjoy, and you heard the second movement, Alligato. There's another composer that is closely linked to Dvorak, and that's Mozart. In fact, it was Dvorak who once said of Mozart, he is the sunshine of music, and I think at the moment we could all do with a little bit of sunshine. And so we're going to play a movement of his violin concerto, his G major violin concerto, that's 216. It's an adagio. It's probably one of the most spectacularly beautiful pieces of music ever written. Usually we would have an entire orchestra. We don't have an orchestra because of course we're at home, but we do have Christoph Israel, who's going to take over the orchestral part. And this piece, whenever I play it, it transports me somewhere else. So with luck, that might do the same for you. This is Mozart's Adagio from his violin concerto, the second movement. If you're just joining us, that was Mozart's Violin Concerto, the second movement, K216, written by a 19-year-old Mozart. It was composed in Salzburg during his youth, and it has the nickname of the Strasbourg Concerto because in the last movement there's a wild dance which was associated with the farmers in Strasbourg. And because we're on Arte Concert, perhaps that's an appropriate connection. This is Hope at Home, and we're coming to you live from Berlin every night. This is the 6th evening in a row, coming to you as long as we possibly can, making music and sharing it around the world. I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody that has been writing in and sending messages. We've had messages from Mexico, from Peru, from South Africa, from China, from Japan, of course from Europe, from the United States. It's an amazing feeling to think that we're alone here in this living room, and yet we're not alone. We're connected through music, and this whole idea of house music, making music at home, is something that's particularly dear to me and to Christoph Israel. But if we have the chance to do it in an intimate setting and share it with everybody out there, it's even more wonderful. One of the things that I love about living in Berlin is the culture that you have here. You have incredible orchestras, theaters, museums, and of course all of those are closed at the moment. And there's one orchestra which, of course, is known throughout the world, the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. And when I have some free time, I love to go and listen to concerts by this orchestra. Of course, I can't do that at the moment. So I got thinking, and I thought, what would it be like if we had the Berlin Philharmonic come here into my living room? Now, of course, we can't have an entire orchestra here. That's not allowed. And in any case, I obviously don't know all the players, but I do know some. And so this week, I'm going to be visited on 3 different nights by 3 superb musicians, all of whom play in the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. At the end of the week, there'll be Albrecht Meyer, the oboe player. Tomorrow night will be Amihai Gross, the viola player from Israel. And tonight, we have a very special guest. She's not only a member of the Berlin Philharmonic and a wonderful horn player, but she's also an extremely talented television producer. If you have seen her either on the television or the internet, her horn hangouts are legendary. And I'm absolutely thrilled that she's here to join us tonight. In true tradition, I'm going to leave the room and leave her the stage, but please welcome Sarah Willis.
Am I allowed in yet? Hello. Hello, thank you, Daniel. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Daniel, what an amazing living room you have. Oh my goodness, it's fantastic to be here.
It's wonderful to play a concert every night here.
And I must tell you all, this is the biggest space I have played in since our self-isolation lockdown started. The Berlin Philharmonie is closed, and I live in a top-floor apartment where the whole house can hear me when I'm practicing. So today, I'm going to now play as loudly as I can and enjoy every second of playing in this wonderful living room, because in comparison to my flat, it's huge. Christoph, shall we play some Mozart?
Would like to very much. Let's go. Thank you, Sarah. That
Bravo,
was
Christoph. Poor Christoph.
adventurous horn concerto.
He has to play the part of all the orchestras today. And which orchestra were you just now?
Well, I didn't count, actually. But I'm very thrilled that you didn't bring just your horn, just your instrument. But
that's right. I thought you and Daniel have been playing such beautiful music all week, and I really have enjoyed your Wohnzimmer concerto, your living room concerts. But I thought we need to sort of, the volume had to go up a bit. So I was very happy he asked for a horn. And I just thought we'd show you something a little different. The horn was originally like the text message of the old days. It was literally something like this, an old shell that would send a text message saying, the food's ready or the enemy are coming. It would literally sound like this. That's all the horn did originally. And then people started to realize they could use animal instruments, animal horns as instruments, and they would sound similar. But the longer the instrument, the longer the horn, the more notes they could get out of it. This went, and then when they got too long, they started rolling them up like this. This is a huacrapuca from Peru. It sounds apparently it gets the sheep in at night. So this is great for the embouchure, Christoph. It sort of ruins it all. Then it moved on, became the normal post horn, and it got bigger and bigger, and they wound them up, and it ended up as our modern double horn, we call it.
But I saw you brought something extra long.
I did, because I just thought whenever I give concerts for children. And the Arte audience, of course, are not children, but this is really cool, I promise. The kids always they would never forget what I do with the garden hose. The horn is 3.5 meters long, which means we need a lot of air to play it.
Playing on this thing.
That's right. So I bring them a garden hose, which is more or less, 3.5, it's hard to hold it all here, wait. Usually I'd have someone here to hold it for me, but it's all terribly unhygienic, so we don't do that. It's got a little funnel at the end. This is a horn, a garden hose horn in E flat. And would you believe it? It can actually play. Can I prove it to you?
Wouldn't. Okay, let's try.
This one is exactly in E flat. Shall we try the Mozart again? Just the first few notes. Okay, just a sec. I have to put the mouthpiece in it. Okay. Right. Here we go. Mouthpiece. Hang on. It's all unraveled now. Yes. I can imagine everyone at home thinking, what? Okay. Here we go. Mozart Horn Concerto for Garden Hose and Christoph.
Brilliant. Worked better than the...
Please at home. Applause. Thank you. Thank you. We heard it.
Unbelievable. I would never thought that you can make music on a garden hose.
Now you see, and when times get better and we can, and it's not so virusy everywhere, then I'll bring you my garden hose and you can try it. But we can't do that today, I'm afraid.
Not
but
today.
I promise you're going to have a go. We'll put him around Beethoven here, shall we?
Oh, he doesn't care. Okay.
So.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah.
You're more than welcome. This was like a 2.5-minute introduction to the horn. It's, of course, the best instrument that there is. I'm a little bit biased, of course. It's also rather a dangerous instrument to play. Some people call it the Glücksspirale, or the lucky spiral, or they call it God's own instrument, because what you blow in this end is not necessarily what comes out this end, and only God knows what's going to come out. It's quite a dangerous instrument.
I'm arranging a lot, and I'm always fascinated by the horn and you horn players, because in ancient times one had a different horn for every key.
That's
right. So there was a horn in A, in D, in E, in E flat.
Many garden hoses. They used to hang them on their arms.
Many garden hoses in the lengths, right. And today, you just play all these horn parts just on this very horn in F.
We have valves which change the distance the air has to go. And if we have a little bit of condensed water in one of these slides, then a little split note can happen, like a krr. And funnily enough, one of the first things I asked Daniel when I came in is, where can we put our spit? It's not spit, it really isn't. It's sort of a mixture, condensed water and, I guess a little bit. But it gets into the slides and then it goes blub, 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 and then the notes disappear.
Could we test that on coronavirus as well?
Yeah, it's probably not the healthiest thing.
So, and then there's another thing for the horn players. When you stop it, when you put a mute into your instrument,
that's right.
The key changes.
The key changes. That's right. We can make all sorts of extra. Now you've got me. I've got. This is okay. Wait. This is going back down here. I'll play a stopped note for you.
Oh, please.
Okay. So this is. I open. Same note. But we have to change the fingerings because it goes down half a tone. So horn is very complicated and it needs more than a half-hour broadcast to explain. But there's lots of horn out there on the internet, so it's a great instrument.
I'm always fascinated by the wonderful sound and also by the magnificent players, especially.
The problem at the moment is, of course, with staying at home all the time, is that we really literally can't practice that well. I mean, my neighbors are incredibly tolerant, and they are letting us letting me play. But we're like footballers; we need to get out there on the big stage and play. And so I'm so happy to make music today. Where's Daniel? Do you think he can come back?
I think we have a piece for him to join us.
We do. I've stolen a violin piece on the horn, and we've had it rearranged, the Humoresk by Dvorak, and it's been rearranged by David Rinica, one of our cellists in the Berlin Philharmonic, for horn, violin, and piano. I think Daniel was a little bit shocked, right, Daniel? It's your piece.
Well, I wouldn't say I was shocked. I mean, I was thrilled that we have the chance to play something together. I have to say, we just had a complaint from our neighbor, so perhaps you could play a little softer.
No way. No way. Okay, Humoresk for horn trio.
It's a virtual hug from all of us.
It's very strange for us not to be able to be so close when we're playing, but thank you. I had the best time.
Thank you so much, Sarah Willis, for being here, for explaining so much, and for playing beautifully, and for keeping music alive. And for everybody else, we hope very much that you'll tune in tomorrow night at the same time. That's 6 p.m. Berlin time. That's 12 noon in New York. It's 9 a.m. in San Francisco. Tomorrow night, my guest will be Amihai Gross of the Berlin Philharmonic, wonderful viola player from Israel, and we look forward very much to seeing you. You can see any of these broadcasts in the media library of Arte Concert, and for the rest, I wish you a pleasant evening. Stay home, stay safe, and thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye.